Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be doing a tutorial for all the non-parity Square-1 EPs. I always get a lot of questions asking, how do I solve my EP cases, or if people should learn all the however many EP algorithms. The answer is no, you do not need to learn all of the EP algorithms, and a lot of them too are just very not finger trick optimal. So I'm going to be going through every single one of my non-parity EPs and show you how I do them. And I'm just going to teach you some tricks. I'm going to teach you some algs you should learn, and then how to solve cases without learning algs. This is a video I've been wanting to make for a while. I just haven't gotten around to it, so I'm pretty excited to do this. So let's just go ahead and get started. So I'm going to be starting with adj. There are multiple angles you can do it from that I think are very important to know, especially if you want to get fast at Square-1. Most people just know this angle, where if it's in the back here, where you just solve it like this. That is the main adj people know. I think it's very important to learn these two angles from the swaps being here and here. Starting with this one, this is actually my personal favorite. You start by misaligning the bottom and do a slice, U prime, and then an M2, and then a small u, and then a slice. And then from this angle, when the swaps are here and here, you start with a 1 on top and do slice D, M2, and then small d prime, slice. Next, I'm going to be talking about the ops. These are also very simple, but there is 3 ways you can do them. There's obviously the main way, where you just do M2, U2, M2. There is the 3 slice one that flips the equator, which is my personal favorite, where you misalign the top, do slice, 5, -1, slice, and then -5, 1, and then slice, just like that. That is my personal favorite. It's very fast when you can execute it, and it flips the equator. And then there is side op. This one I don't use very often, but there are certain situations where it can come in handy. So you start by misaligning the top, slice, U prime D, M2, and then realign, and then slice, just like that. Next are just PLL EPs. So first you have the 2 U-perms. For this U-perm, when the bar is in front and the opposite is on your right, I do this alg. And then after you do that, you just solve CO, just like that. So one more time, slice, U, slice, 1 on top, slice, D prime, slice, -1, slice, U prime, slice, 1 on top, slice, D, slice. And then this alg, where the opposite is on the left, it's just the inverse, so you misalign the top, slice, D prime, slice, -1, slice, U, slice, 1, slice, D, slice, -1, slice, U prime, slice. Now for Z-perms, it's super simple, and regardless of where you hold it, it's solved the same way. So you do an M2, and then you do a U move away from where you hold the opposite or the adjacent swap. So since I'm holding it on the right, I'm gonna do M2, and then a U move to go away from where I was holding it, and then an M2, and then go back with the U move, and then M2. If the adj swap is right here, just M2, U prime, M2, U, M2. And then for H-perm, this is really simple. It's really just like how you do it on a 3x3, M2, U prime, M2, U2, M2, U prime, M2. And then if you have a flipped equator, you can do the 3 slice op, and then U prime, M2, U2, M2. All right, and then for the just PLL ones on bottom, for the U-perms, I just do double adjs. I think it's much faster and more finger trick friendly than the actual algs. So same for this one, just double adj. And then the Z-perm, it's solved the exact same way as it is on top, just with D moves. So M2 that go away from where the adj is, M2, and then go back, M2. And then H-perm, same thing, M2, D, M2, D2, M2, D, M2. And then if you want, if the equator's flipped, you can do that, and then M2, U2, M2. Right, next up, we have some special cases. We have HH, ZZ, and then ZH and HZ. Starting off with HH, this is a very nice alg. You do a 1 on top, slice, 5, -1, slice, and then U prime D prime M2, and then U prime D slice. For ZZ, this is a very nice one. It's just 2 adj-adjs that cancel into each other. So you do the adj-adj switch from here and here, like I showed earlier, and then you cancel into doing adj-adj in the back. So it's slice, D, M2, and then U D prime, M2, and then U prime slice. So one more time, it's misaligned at the top, slice, D, M2, U D prime, M2, U prime slice. For HZ and ZH, these solutions are the same. You do side op like I taught earlier, and then you go into op-O, which is a very nice case that I will teach here in a little bit. So same thing right here. You do side op into op-O. All right, for the ZU cases, these cases are really simple. I just do double adj-adj. So like for this one, I'll do adj-adj here, and then front adj-adj there. For this one, I would just do front adj-adj here, and then adj-adj and back. This one, the Z's on top, so I'll do back adj-adj here, and then front adj-adj. And then this one, I would do adj-adj there, and then back adj-adj. Those cases are really just straightforward and simple. It's just adj-adjs. All right, now for UHs, how you're gonna hold it is you're gonna hold the U-perms block on the left, and if the color in front is not opposite, you misalign it, and if it is opposite, you would align it. And then you're just gonna do 2 JNs. So for this one, the front color is not opposite, so I will misalign it and do JN, and then you get JN again. So for this one, the front is opposite, so you keep it aligned, and then do JN, and then you get JN again. Same exact thing for when the U is on bottom. The U perm is not opposite in front, so I will misalign it and do JN, and then you get JN again. And now the opposite is in front, so I will align it and do JN, and you get JN again. All right, op-Os are extremely simple. You're just going to do a combination of M2 and then a U move in the same direction 3 times. The direction you're gonna do U moves in is gonna be away from the way that the O is going. So for instance, for the O, this edge needs to go here. So you're gonna do the U moves in the way that would go away from it. So that would be a U prime. So I'm gonna do M2, U prime, M2, U prime, M2. So for this case, the O is going this way, so you're gonna do a U move because that's going away from where it needs to go. So I'm gonna do M2, U, M2, U, M2. And it's solved the exact same way for when the O is on the bottom, so the O is going here. So I'm gonna do M2, D, M2, D, M2. And then the O is going this way, so I'm gonna do M2, D prime, M2, D prime, M2. All right, now for OOs, these cases are also very nice, and they're solved somewhat similarly to OOP. You're gonna start with the U layer, and you're gonna do the same rule of going away from where the O needs to go, but then when you switch to the bottom layer, you're gonna do D moves in the same direction of the O. So for instance, I'm gonna start with the U layer and the O goes this way. So I'm gonna do U primes, and then the D goes this way. So I'm going to do M2, U prime, M2, U prime, and then this is where I cancel. So instead of doing M2 into a Z perm, I remember the O goes this way. So I'm going to do a D prime to do the D move in the same direction of the O that was going. So I'll do D prime, M2, D, M2. So here's the other one. The U goes this way, so I'm gonna do the U moves going away from that. And then this one, the O goes this way, and I'm going to do the same direction for the bottom layer. So M2, U, N2, U, and then cancel by doing the D move. So cancel right here doing D, M2, D prime, M2. Here's the other example. O goes this way on top, and then on bottom the O goes this way. So I'm gonna do M2 and then U move away from where it's going, and then U, and then a D, and then now cancel by doing a D move towards the direction. So M2 D prime, M2 D, M2. So last one, O goes this way, O on bottom goes this way, M2 U prime, M2 U prime D, M2 D prime, M2. All right, now we have W-adj and adj-W. These are both algorithms. So the first one, W-adj, you hold the H-perm of the W on this side and the adjacent swap right here, and the al goes like this. Just like that. All right, and then for adj-W, you hold the adj here and the H-perm part here, and the al goes like this. All right, now for WW, this is just an alg, and it goes like this. Just like that. All right, now for the good U-perm algs. These are arguably the most important EPs you should know. So starting with this one, when you have two U-perms on each layer and you hold the bars on the left, if you have opposite on the top and not opposite on the bottom, you're going to do this alg. Just like that. And then if you hold the bars right here and you have the opposite on the bottom and not opposite on the top, you're going to hold it like this, where you put both opposites on the same face. So you have a bar here and a bar on the right, and then both opposites facing you, and you're gonna do this alg. Just like that. Now for the bad U-perms, where if you hold the bars on the left, the opposites are on the same side. For this, I just do double adj-adj. There's multiple ways you can do this, but for instance, for this one right here, I will just do adj-adj right here from the angle that I taught y'all earlier, and then go into doing adj-adj in the back. And then for this one, same concept, I do adj-adj in the back to switch here, and then do the adj-adj swap right here. All right, now for op-adj and adj-op. Both of these cases have a different way to solve them based on if the equator is flipped or not. So I'll start with op-adj with a solved equator. If the equator is solved, I hold the opposite on the side and the adj in the back. And then you're basically just gonna do setup moves into front adj-adj and then undo the setup moves. So the setup move goes like this. You do a -1 on bottom, slice, small U prime, slice, and then you do a 2 on top. And now you have adj-adj here and here. So you do front adj-adj and then undo the setup moves. So just like that. Now, if the equator is flipped, I hold it in the same alignments, except how I'm gonna solve it is I'm gonna do front adj-adj like this, and then you get good U-perms. Now for adj-op, for both cases, I'm gonna hold the op in front and the adj in the back right here. If the equator is solved, I typically do an alg like this. Just like that. And then if the equator is flipped, I will do adj-adj in the back, and then U prime into good U's. All right, now we have W-op and op-W. So how you're going to solve these, you're going to hold the H-perm switch in the back right and do adj-adj in the back, and then you get good U-perms. And then for op-W, it's solved very similarly, except you hold the H-perm switch in the back left, and then do back adj-adj, and then you get good U-perms. All right, now for O-adjs. They're all gonna be solved the same way. So how you're gonna do it for this one, you're going to hold the adj swap on the same area that the O is going. So since this is going to the left, I'm gonna hold the edge swap on the left. You're gonna do an edge swap at an angle that will basically turn this into a U. So for this one, I'm gonna do the edge at this angle, and then you get good U-perms. Then you have this one, same concept, the O is going this way, so you hold the edge on the same direction that the O is going. And now I'm going to do an edge swap that'll turn this into a U-perm. So for this case, I'm going to do this angle edge, and now it turned that into a U-perm, and now you have good U's. Same concept when the O's are on the bottom. Hold the edge at the same direction that the O is going, and now do an edge to switch the edge to a U-perm. So I'll do the edge here and here. And now you have good U-perms. And then for this case, hold the edge in the same direction and then do an edge swap that'll turn the edge into a U. So I'll do the edge swap here and here. And now you have good U-perms. Finally, we have WOs. Now these are solved very similarly to O edge. So here's the first one, for example. You are going to hold the H-perm swap at the same direction that the O is going, and you're gonna solve it just like this is an edge and O edge. So I'm going to do the edge here, and you get good U-perms. So for this one, I'm gonna hold the H swap same way this is going, and then do the edge swap to switch it as if this were an edge. I would be switching it to be a U-perm. So I'll do the swap here, and then I get good U-perms. Same concept, if the W is on bottom, hold the H-perm switch here. I will do the edge here and here, and then you get good U-perms. And now lastly, same thing, the O is going this way, so I hold the H-perm switch at the same direction of the O, and I'll do the edge switch here and here, and then I get good U-perms. So that is how I solve every non-parity Square-1 EP case. If you don't use CSP, you can just do the parity alg into one of these EPs, or even use the parity alg to manipulate what EP you want to get. I really hope you guys learned something from this video and found this helpful. I haven't really seen many modern advanced EP tutorials, so I really wanted to make this, and hopefully you guys learned something and hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you like tutorials like this, I'm kind of wanting to get more into the content grind, so if there's any more Square-1 content tutorials that you want to see, just let me know in the comments and I'd be happy to make something. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.